Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, we are now continuing the discussion with Sheikh Bilal Ismail on the topic of Zakat. Sheikh, I wanted to take you to maybe a subset of the kind of discussion we've been having and talk about the issue of jewellery.
No.
So, very simply, is Zakat due on jewellery?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We find the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a famous hadith. A female had come to him and she had these gold bangles. And the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked her, do you pay zakah on that? And so she said no. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated to her that would you wish to have 2 bangles of fire on Yawm al-Qiyamah? And so the female said absolutely not, giving us an indication that one should obviously pay zakah on jewelry. Now, there's a dispute amongst the scholars of a hadith with regards to this hadith. Is it authentic? Is it not? We find that the Hanafi school of jurisprudence of the opinion that all jewelry, whatever jewelry that this female has, she has to pay zakah on it. What proof? The proof is this hadith. And also the general verses in the Noble Quran that one should pay zakah on one's wealth. Whereas you have the Hanbali scholars, the Shafi'i scholars, majority of the scholars, the opinion of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman and Ali, majority of the Sahaba of the opinion that there is no zakah on jewelry if the female makes use of this jewelry. Even though she might use it once or twice a year, on that fancy occasion, as long as she uses this jewelry, it is similar to the clothing that we wear. Do we pay zakah on clothing, Nasim? No zakah on our clothing, no zakah on our house, no zakah on our car. Why? Because we use it. And so if the jewelry is being used by this female, majority of the scholars of the opinion that there's no zakah due on it. And they also say, from the point of the individual, what would be the better option, what would be the safer option, what would be ihsan. No doubt ihsan would be that although we might say that zakah is not due on this jewelry, it would be better for me to go out and pay zakah on it, so at least Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards the person. We also find that from amongst the contemporary scholars, Sheikh bin Baz, Sheikh al-Albani, Sheikh Uthaymeen, were all of the opinion. They went with the Hanafi madhab in this mas'ala, and they all stated that zakah was due on the jewelry. So no doubt, safer opinion inshaAllah is that one pays. From the point of proofs, it seems that it's not an obligation. Now,
okay, so just 2 things came into mind as you were giving your explanation. One was just, let's clarify perhaps when we say jewelry, what kind of jewelry mean? Because we're obviously not saying all jewelry, it's certain types, so gold, silver, but then obviously we have certain issues in terms of, sometimes a lady might have a gold ring with a diamond, or she may have platinum or white gold, or all these kinds of things. So how can we just explain the types of jewelry on which zakat is due?
Excellent, excellent. When we speak about jewelry, we are talking about that which is gold and that which is silver. As for platinum, as for your diamond, etc., there's no zakat due on that according to all of the scholars. So we're talking about gold and we're talking about silver only.
And where there is potentially a mix, would it just be on the basis of, for example, more than 50% gold content, then you pay a zakat on all of it, or half of it? How would that work?
As long as many a scholar has stated, as long as you have majority gold in it, so we're talking around 18 karat, 22 karat, 24 karat, then yes. That which is 9 karat has more alloys, etc. in it than gold, so there's no zakah on that.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. And then you previously talked about the issue to do with the usage of jewelry, that if some scholars take the view that, or the majority rather, that if a lady uses her jewelry, then zakah is not due upon that. But what is the definition of using? For example, sometimes, many ladies may have a bunch of jewelry in the attic, which they only bring out once a year for a particular occasion or a wedding or something. So what about that?
If, for example, and that's the norm, many a female, she has some nice fancy jewelry in her house, but she only wears it, maybe once or twice a year. As long as she is wearing it once or twice a year for an occasion, etc., then this forms part of jewelry which is being used, and there's no zakah due on that. As for jewelry which is like broken pieces, as for jewelry which has been melted down, as for jewelry which she does not use at all, it's just all broken pieces, etc., then there is zakah on that according to all the scholars. Why? Because that's just like having a gold bar, and one has to pay zakah on that.
Right, but as you said, the safer opinion is that any jewellery that is in the household, that is owned.
No doubt. The safer opinion, the Hanafi opinion, is that whatever jewelry you have, pay zakah on it and benefit those Muslims out there who need help.
Okay, Jazakallah khair.